Each morning, real RSI setups are broken down with entry strategies and the technical reasoning behind every trade. This is RSI Trade of the Day with Verified Investing.
Welcome to the RSI Trade of the Day. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing, and we had some movers in the market yesterday. I actually gave my analysis on AMD, and based on the RSI action, it looked as if after this big rally on the back of news that it was teaming up with not C3 AI, but an AI company, then it looked like it was going to pull back or continue to pull back. It had a 10% drop. The RSI continued lower, indicated it was supposed to go lower. However, this had other plans. I'm going to go over that trade with you guys. It's looking like it's going to be a blow off top pretty soon. So let's go ahead and get into that. First thing I want to do, though, is get into the RSI trade of the day from yesterday, which was Intel. Intel, I was looking at entering at a Pierce of $140, but it decided it didn't want to do that. But I still like this level. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts of Intel. So here's Intel. I said $140. I meant $40. $40, this upsloping trend line, or excuse me, downsloping trend line, this $40 even number Pierce after this consolidation is where Intel is likely to retreat from. So what I do is I like to take pivot tops. This goes back from the 8th of April, 2021, secondary top right here, 21st of December. And then this would be the third hit of this upsloping trend line. In addition to an overly extended RSI, for me, this favors a pullback from this level at a Pierce of $40. It hasn't hit yet. However, it's still on my radar today. So if it gets up into that level, I still like this for a short opportunity. I am still long-term bullish on Intel. And so this would be a pause in the charts for a small pullback. You're looking at 2 to 4%. And then once we can break this downsloping trend line, possibly even retrace back down to $34, then I think Intel is moving higher, going up to $49.55. Could go even higher than that, but that would be the next level of resistance that Intel would meet. RGTI, I was noticing on the charts as well. Go to the daily time frame. This is overextended. So I wanted to kind of go over a little bit of education. So RGTI looks like it's got a topping tail. Unfortunately, it does not have a topping tail. And the reason is we have three main criteria. The first criteria is it in the top 10% of all the candles. And I would say based on this price movement from $48 all the way down to $42, yes, this would be in the top 10%. Now, the other thing that is strict criteria is the wick of this candle on a topping tail has to be in the upper 50% or greater than 50%. And as you can see, the body is lower than the 50% mark. And so this meets the criteria. So yes, that is the second criteria that has been met. The third criteria is a close below the 25% mark. So this right here, 43.15 would have been the close below. It didn't close below that. So this does not constitute as an official topping tail. Although you look at it and it does look like a good reversal candle, it's not a topping tail. You can still play it like a topping tail. The topping tails just give you a little bit more information as far as downside. This one just says that the buyer stepped in towards the end of the day, and so it saved this topping tail from forming. So you could still play it like a topping tail. However, it's just not as much conviction in this thing. But go back to the daily time frame. It is staying kind of strong on the daily intraday RSI. The price action stayed pretty high. You did get a pullback the first part of the day. However, as you can see in the pre-market, it does look like it wants to head a little bit higher. So for me, the first level that I have, it did get up to about $48. But for me, $50 level on RGTI is where I would look to trade it. And for me, again, it favors a move to the upside. Tempus AI, another AI stock. Look at what happened with the RSI. The RSI got above the 70, came back in, did a little bit of consolidation above the 70, came back in, dropped down to the 30. In addition, price action headed higher, dropped a little bit. As the RSI continued to fall a lot, the price action didn't fall very much. And then the price action got a good bid, RSI headed higher. And then you had this sideways consolidation. what I've noticed a lot is when you get stocks like this that stay above the 30, above the 30, and they fail to break any type of pivots, this is a stronger stock. And so I anticipate a nice move to the upside on Tempus AI, or TEM. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to find this level together. I've already done this ahead of time, but I'm going to show you how I calculate the next possible level based on this RSI. So you take this high pivot right here, connect it through this secondary pivot, and this would be the third pivot. So if price action gets to this area around $110, this is likely where the price action is going to pull back from. So you just connect two pivots. So this pivot high from the 22nd of August, this high right here from the 14th of February, and then this would be, again, the third hit, especially with an overextended RSI on the daily time frame and a bullish RSI on the intraday. For me, if this favors a move to the upside. So if you notice, $101 is where it's currently trading. So it would need to go up about a 10% or have a 10% move to the upside in order for us to get to that level. But if it does get there today, I am shorting at that level. And then same like any other trade that I get in with the RSI trade of the day, it would be a 15-minute closing basis. I would stop out of that if a candle closes above that. All right. So now I've gone over a couple different trade setups. Let's go ahead and just go into the RSI trade of the day. So I also went over Robinhood the other day, and I did mention, or actually yesterday, and mentioned that I would stay away from this for now, although it does have some negative RSI divergence. Price action's heading higher, RSI is heading lower. This is bearish, meaning that it's likely to pull back. However, intraday yesterday, same kind of price action with Tempus AI, where you had the RSI staying relatively strong, as well as the price action, just this continual float up. Never was able to break, not only break the 30, but no low pivots. So for me, this favors a move to the upside. So my RSI trade of the day is shorting Robinhood, or HOOD, at 152.97. So 152.97 is going to be also my stop out level. If on a 15-minute closing basis, it closes above 152.97, then I would stop out of this trade. It could go a little bit higher. This could be a swing trade as well. I'm looking for about a 3 to 5% pullback on this trade. So that way, right now, a 3 to 5% pullback from that top, you're looking at basically getting back below $149. Okay. So again, that's my RSI trade of the day. Robinhood is overextended. It's touted as this everything app. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing, right? So this is why it's my trade of the day. This is why I'm bearish on it. When you get this euphoria in the markets, in these particular stocks, you have also a lot of people who are caught off guard from this news. And so for me, it favors a pullback, because now as soon as all these short coverers are able to exit their positions, then the sellers can really step in. Profit takers can come in and push this down. So I really like this setup at $152.97. Okay, let's go ahead and go into a couple more chart setups. I'm going to go really quickly on. All right, so I mentioned AMD the other day. AMD is putting in this really nice bullish consolidation. I did mention that it favored a pullback. Look at the daily time frame. You had this great pullback, 10% from the highs. It opened up lower, and then the next day it consolidated in this red bar candle. And then yesterday and towards the after hours, it had this huge bid. So for me, AMD is likely to go higher, even though previously I said it was going to go lower. It will go lower after it gets about to the $250 level. This is a swing trade level for me. I would institute a short on this. And when I mean short, I'm not using options. I'm just shorting the stock. So basically selling the stock instead of buying it, indicating that I'm willing to buy it at a lower price and take that profit of the difference. All right, Dell is another stock that has been going pretty crazy. Yesterday it was up 10%. Look at the daily time frame. Fortunately, it's getting into a lot of resistance. So $169.92. It's this beautiful gap fill. If it gets up there today, especially with this overextension of the RSI, If you notice, Dell does a pretty good job of maintaining the RSI with pullbacks when it gets to about the 70, decent pullbacks, and then price continues higher, and that's fine. So that way $169, or basically a pierce of $170 on Dell, would be a shortable level for that one. A couple other stocks I wanted to mention. Duolingo, I did go over this one, showing positive RSI divergence. I was saying this is a great area to get into, especially after this huge recovery or this pullback after the earnings. Positive RSI divergence. And now, had you listened to this particular trade, you would be up about 30%. And so now I'm going to tell you about another stock that I really like, and that's Target. Target is it's a dividend paying stock. And look at what's going on, right? So you've got this little bit of positive RSI divergence that happened here. You got this move to the upside. You got this nice pullback back down to this double bottom area at $87.35. Created a little bit of positive RSI divergence, not a ton, but now it favors a move to the upside as long as you can maintain price action above $87.35. This has got a beautiful downsloping trend line or parallel channel. If you break to the upside, $137.91 is where Target is my upside target. Okay. There are some stocks that I've given out, like for example, silver is one that had some negative RSI divergence. I did mention that this would have been a good area. It did look like it was going to pull back and then all of a sudden shot through. So I do like to say that the RSI alone isn't always going to work out in our favor. It's just a probabilities game, right? So what we do is we get into 80% or we get into 100 trades. 80 of them are going to work out great. 20 of them are not going to follow the rules. They're not going to follow the resistance. They're just going to move in the opposite direction than we anticipate. And that's just part of trading, right? So our objective with this is to try to stack the favor or stack our odds in our favor, so that way we can make informed decisions. So that's what I have for you guys. Please, if you guys like this, make sure you're sharing this with your friends so that way they can get this information. Even if they're new to trading, I'm going to try to go over some more education, how to draw trend lines, what to look for in topping tails, so that you guys can get more informed on how to do your own trading. And then, yeah, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing, and make sure you stay tuned. Gareth Soloway is going live on My Trading Game Plan. He's got some insights into the market and how it's crazy that a lot of this AI play is what's been propping up the markets. So if they can stay up, maybe the markets can, but there may be some underlying issues coming on. So you don't want to miss it. It's less than 3 minutes away. So you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys in the charts, and take care.